Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. Today I'm going to be testing two Hall effect switches from Milktooth. Huge shout out to Kevin from Milktooth for sending these out. You can check out the Milktooth website, link in the description below. They sell a wide range of different switches for a really good price, and there's tons of different filter options on the website as well. So I highly recommend checking them out if you're in need of keyboard switches. So a while back ago, I made a video of me modding my Wooting 60HE, which included a case swap to the Tofu Redux, changing the original Liker switches to the Gateron KS20s, and swapping the keycaps as well. In that video, I mentioned that one of the reasons I swapped switches to the KS20s was for an improved sound profile, since the KS20s have better factory lubing. But lately, if you guys have been paying attention to the Wooting switch space, you'll have noticed that the Gateron Jades are becoming increasingly popular as a third-party switch option for their much improved sound over the stock Liker switches. So before we begin, I want to make it clear that these switches are Hall effect switches, which means that they are completely compatible with the Wooting PCB, and effects such as customizable actuation points and rapid trigger are all fully compatible and functional with Hall effect switches. In my original Wooting mod video, a lot of people in the comments were confused about whether or not swapping the switches would make the Wooting's performance features obsolete, so I just wanted to clear that up. And keep in mind that normal mechanical keyboard switches will not work with the Wooting. You must use Hall effect switches, which rely on a magnet to function as opposed to traditional mechanical keys. Okay, so let's get into these switches. Both switches are factory lubed. The first switch is the WS Dash, which is a recolor of the Jade switches. You can see all of the technical information such as the actuation force and whatnot on the screen, but the sound on these is described as bright and clacky with a silky smooth keystroke. Of course, there will be a sound test later on in the video, but if you want to skip to that, then there will be timestamps in the description. The second switch is the Sticky Rice, which is described as a neutral sound signature that leans towards stockiness. So basically, the WS Dash is clacky and high-pitched, whereas the Sticky Rice is thocky and low-pitched. The stem on the Sticky Rice is a reinforced stem, which reduces the wobble of the switch and makes it slightly more resistant to dust. And now the worst part is disassembling the Wooting and swapping out the switches. If you remember from my original modding video, I had a super cheap and small switch puller, and my hands were dying after swapping the switches. Well, I'm sad to say that I didn't get a better switch puller, so I will be repeating the process once again. But rather than replacing the entire board with one switch, what I'm going to do is I'm actually only going to replace 4 keys with the Dash and another 4 keys with the Sticky Rice for the sound test, and then whichever switch I like the most, I will put into the entire board. So as you can see, the WASD is the Gateron orange switches that I originally had in the board. To the right of them are the Dashes, and then after that are the Sticky Rices. Really quickly, I wanted to show the stem wobble between the 3 switches. The stem wobble is actually noticeably better on the Dashes and the Sticky Rices when compared to the orange switches. The stem wobble between the Dashes and Sticky Rices are very comparable, but I would actually give the edge to the Dashes, even though I expected the Sticky Rices to perform better when it comes to stem wobble due to the reinforced stem. Somehow the Dashes actually have less wobble, but it's very, very small. They're both very comparable. Moving on to the sound test between the 3, I'll let you have a listen. So let me know in the comments right now which one you think sounds better, because for me, there's a clear winner. Now obviously, both the Dash and Sticky Rice sound much better than the Gateron orange switches. The factory lubing on both is much more consistent and smooth. However, between the Dash and the Sticky Rice, I actually ended up preferring the sound of the Dashes more. So I ended up going with the Dash for the entire keyboard. So this is what the plate looks like with all of the switches in. If you notice, I actually had to put in one of the original Liker switches for the right alt, because unfortunately I was only sent 60 switches, like exactly 60, and the Wooting 60HE has 61 keys, so I'm missing one key, but it's fine since I never really use the right alt. Okay, so now that the board is running the dashes, here is the sound test with these switches. And that's pretty much it, guys. It sounds and feels a lot better. So honestly, if you want a quick way to upgrade the sound and feeling of your Wooting 60HE, the first thing that I would do is upgrade to some nice factory loop switches, such as the one shown in this video or the Gateron Jades, which are just the same as the dashes, it's just a recolor. But I'm really happy with how my Wooting sounds now, and in my opinion, it sounds a lot better than before. The looping from Milktooth was very smooth and consistent, and if you guys are looking for switches for your keyboard, I would highly recommend checking them out. Once again, I will leave their website in the description below, as well as the 2 switches that were shown in this video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.